Welcome to Tales from the Shadows. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because tonight, we're embarking on a chilling journey into the heart of darkness, history, and forbidden knowledge. This is the Forgotten Abbey's Black Grimoire, summoning the entity within. Prepare yourself for a tale that will grip your soul and haunt your dreams. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Abbey's shadowed past deep in the desolate moors of northern England, where the wind howls like a chorus of lost souls, stand the crumbling ruins of St. Aelric's Abbey. Once a beacon of faith, this ancient monastery now lies forsaken, its stones whispering secrets too terrible for the light of day. Within its decayed halls, a book was hidden, a grimoire so perilous that its very existence was erased from the annals of history. They called it the Black Grimoire, a tome said to hold the power to summon something not of this world. Tonight, we unravel the truth behind this cursed relic and the abbey that guarded its secrets. What did the monks of St. Aelric's unleash, and why did they seal it away forever? St. Aelric's Abbey was founded in 1087, during the turbulent years of the Norman conquest. Nestled in a remote valley in Yorkshire, it was a Cistercian monastery dedicated to silence, prayer, and the pursuit of divine knowledge. Its monks were scholars, scribes who toiled in the scriptorium, copying sacred texts by candlelight. The abbey's architecture was austere yet grand, pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and cloisters where the only sound was the soft tread of sandaled feet. Yet, beneath this veneer of piety, something sinister took root. By the 13th century, whispers of unholy practices began to spread among the villagers who lived in the abbey's shadow. They spoke of strange lights flickering in the night, chants that carried on the wind, and monks who entered the abbey's crypts never to return. The church, ever vigilant against heresy, took notice. In 1262, a team of inquisitors was dispatched to investigate. What they discovered shook them to their core. The monks, once devoted to God, had turned to forbidden knowledge. They had uncovered, or perhaps created, a book unlike any other, a grimoire bound in blackened leather, its pages inscribed with symbols that seemed to writhe under scrutiny. The Inquisitor's report, buried for centuries in the Vatican archives, paints a chilling picture. Allow me to share a passage from their findings, written by an inquisitor whose name has been lost to time. The brothers of St. Aelric's have fallen into darkness. They speak of a book, its cover marked with signs no godly man should know. They claim it holds the key to commune with powers beyond the veil. We found them in the crypt, their faces pale as death, chanting words that burned the air with malice. God forgive us, for we have seen what should not be seen. This report, only recently unearthed by scholars, points to a single object at the heart of the abbey's corruption, the Black Grimoire. But what was this book, and why did it instill such fear in those who encountered it? Was it a creation of the monks, or something far older, passed down through secret channels from a time before Christ? The answers lie in the shadows of St. Aelric's, where faith and fear collided in a battle for the souls of those who dared to seek forbidden truths. What do you think the monks were hiding? Were they victims of their own curiosity, or servants of something darker? Drop your theories in the comments below, and let's see if you can guess what's coming next. Chapter 2, The Black Grimoire unveiled. The Black Grimoire was no ordinary book. It was a relic of forbidden knowledge, a tome that promised power at a price no mortal could pay. Scholars believe it was penned in the late 12th century by a monk named Brother Eadwulf, a scholar whose obsession with the occult led him down a path of ruin. Unlike other grimoires of the medieval era, which focused on alchemy, astrology, or herbal remedies, the Black Grimoire had a singular purpose: to summon an entity from beyond the veil of reality. Its pages were a map to the abyss, written in a language that defied comprehension. The grimoire's text was a strange amalgam of Latin, Old English, and an unknown script that linguists still cannot decipher. Its pages were adorned with intricate diagrams, pentagrams, sigils, and runes that seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy. At its core was a ritual, a summoning ceremony so precise it resembled a scientific formula, yet so steeped in occult symbolism it chilled the blood of those who read it. The ritual required a lunar eclipse, a consecrated altar, and the blood of the summoner. The entity it sought to call forth was never named directly. Instead, it was referred to as the One Who Waits, a title that carried both reverence and dread. Brother Eadwulf, the Grimoire's alleged author, left behind a journal that offers a glimpse into his descent into madness. Here's an excerpt, written in the final days of his life. The One Who Waits speaks in shadows. Its voice is the wind through dead trees, its form a blasphemy against creation. I have seen it in my dreams, a void that hungers for knowledge as I do. It offers truths no mortal mind can bear, secrets of the stars, of life beyond death, of the cosmos itself. Yet I am its servant, bound by blood and oath. The ritual is complete. The veil is thin, and I am no longer alone. Eadwulf's words suggest a man consumed by his own ambition. He believed the grimoire could unlock the mysteries of existence, but at what cost? The text warned of dire consequences, madness, possession, or a fate worse than death. Yet the monks of St. Aelric's, driven by desperation, curiosity, or perhaps something more sinister, chose to follow his instructions. They gathered in the Abbey's crypt, under the light of a blood-red moon, and performed the ritual that would seal their fate. The grimoire's pages were not merely instructions but a lure, drawing the reader deeper into its mysteries with every turn. Its illustrations depicted grotesque figures, shadowy forms with glowing eyes, hands reaching from voids, and altars stained with blood. One passage described the entity's arrival: it comes not in flesh, but in thought. It speaks not in words, but in visions. It is the shadow that moves without light, the voice that echoes without sound. The monks believed they could control it, bind it to their will. They were wrong. What drove these men of faith to such extremes? Was it the promise of divine knowledge, or something more human, pride, fear, or the lure of power? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's unravel this mystery together. Chapter 3. The ritual of summoning. The summoning ritual described in the Black Grimoire was no mere incantation. It was a meticulously crafted ceremony, designed to tear open the veil between worlds. Its instructions were precise, almost clinical, yet steeped in an occult symbolism that spoke to the darkest corners of the human psyche. To perform it was to court disaster, yet the monks of St. Aelric's pressed forward, driven by a hunger for knowledge that outweighed their fear. The ritual required 5 participants, each representing an element: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. They would stand at the points of a pentagram, carved into the stone floor of the Abbey's crypt. At the center was a consecrated altar, etched with sigils from the grimoire, symbols that seemed to shift when viewed too long. 5 black candles, made from tallow mixed with ash, were placed at the pentagram's points. A silver dagger, its blade inscribed with runes, was used to draw the summoner's blood. A chalice, filled with a mixture of wine and herbs, would catch the blood, binding the ritual to the mortal plane. The incantation was the heart of the ceremony. The abbot, as the summoner, would speak the words while cutting his palm, letting his blood drip into the chalice. Here's the incantation, as recorded in the grimoire: per sanguis meus, ego te voco. Per umbras, ego te ligo. Surge, ca expectat, eti revela secreta tua. In English, it translates to, by my blood, I call you. By the shadows, I bind you. Rise, the one who waits, and reveal your secrets. The grimoire promised that, if performed correctly, the entity would manifest, not as a physical being, but as a presence. A voice that whispered in the mind, a shadow that moved without a source. It would offer knowledge, secrets of the cosmos, truths beyond mortal comprehension. But only to those strong enough to withstand its influence. The text was clear: failure to maintain control could lead to madness, possession, or annihilation. The monks, cloaked in their black robes, stood in the flickering candlelight, their voices rising in a chant that seemed to shake the very stones of the crypt. They believed they could master the entity. They believed they could wield its power. They were mistaken. The ritual's requirements were steeped in symbolism. The lunar eclipse, a moment when the world hung in darkness, was said to weaken the veil between realities. The blood sacrifice was not merely a physical act but a surrender of the self, a willingness to offer one's essence to the unknown. The sigils, drawn from ancient traditions, were a language older than the church, older than the Abbey itself. Some scholars believe they trace back to Sumerian or Babylonian rituals, hinting at a lineage of forbidden knowledge that predates Christianity. Others argue the sigils were unique to the Grimoire, a creation of Brother Eadwulf's fevered mind. Whatever their origin, they were the key to the ritual's power, and its danger. Would you dare attempt this ritual, knowing its risks? Could you face the one who waits, or would you flee from its shadow? Let us know in the comments, and vote in our poll to share your courage, or your caution. Chapter 4, The Entity Revealed on the Night of a Lunar Eclipse in 1263, the Monks of St. Aelric's gathered in the crypt to perform the ritual. The air was thick with the scent of wax and incense, the candles casting long shadows that danced like specters on the walls. What happened next is pieced together from fragmented accounts, letters, journals, and confessions found in the Abbey's ruins. The entity appeared, but it was not what they expected. It was neither demon nor angel, but something far older, far stranger. A surviving monk, his name scratched out of the records, left a chilling account in a journal hidden beneath the crypt's altar. It was not a form, but a void. A shadow that moved without light, a presence that pressed against the mind like a weight. Its voice was a chorus of the dead, speaking in tongues we could not know. It promised truths, secrets of the cosmos, of life beyond death, of worlds unseen. But its price was our souls, our sanity, our very existence. I saw Brother Thomas fall, his eyes bleeding as he screamed of visions too vast to bear. I saw the abbot laugh, then weep, then speak in a voice not his own. God has forsaken us, for we have opened a door that should have remained closed. The entity, the one who waits, was not a creature of flesh and bone. It was a force, a presence that existed in the spaces between thought and reality. It offered knowledge, but not freely. Those who accepted its gifts were consumed. Their minds shattered by visions of infinite worlds, their bodies left as empty husks. The monks who resisted fared no better. Some went mad, clawing at their own faces as they muttered incomprehensible words. Others vanished, their fates unknown. The Abbey's records end abruptly after this night, as if the very act of writing became impossible in the aftermath. The Grimoire had warned of this. Its pages spoke of the entity's hunger, its need for a vessel to anchor it to the mortal plane. The blood sacrifice was meant to bind it, but the monks underestimated its power. They believed they could control it, use it to unlock divine mysteries. Instead, they became its prey. The crypt, once a place of sacred reflection, became a tomb, a monument to their hubris. The monks sealed the grimoire away, locking it in a stone vault deep beneath the abbey. But did they trap the entity with it, or did it linger, waiting for the next soul to open the book? Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think became of the one who waits? Chapter 5, The Abbey's Fall. By 1264, St. Aelric's Abbey was no more. The church declared it cursed, a place of heresy and abomination. The surviving monks were excommunicated, some burned at the stake, others imprisoned in secret cells where their screams would not reach the world. The abbey was abandoned, its gates sealed, its records burned. The Black Grimoire was entombed in a vault beneath the crypt, its location known only to a handful of church officials sworn to secrecy. For centuries, the abbey stood silent, its ruins crumbling under the weight of time and neglect. But the story of the Grimoire did not end with the abbey's fall. In 1873, an archaeological expedition led by Sir William Harrow, a noted occultist and scholar, rediscovered the ruins of St. Aelric's. Harrow was drawn to the abbey by rumors of its dark history, tales of a book that could summon powers beyond mortal ken. His team uncovered the vault, and within it, the Black Grimoire, its leather cover untouched by time, its pages still legible despite centuries of damp and decay. Harrow was ecstatic, believing he had found the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. He was wrong. Within weeks of the discovery, Harrow vanished. His team was found dead in their camp, their faces frozen in expressions of terror. The official report claimed they succumbed to exposure, but locals whispered of something else, shadows that moved in the night, voices that whispered from the ruins. The grimoire disappeared once more, its whereabouts unknown. Some say it was taken to London, hidden in a private collection. Others claim it was returned to the Vatican, locked away in a vault where no light could touch it. But one thing is certain, the grimoire's power remained, a silent threat waiting to be unleashed. Do you believe the Black Grimoire is still out there, waiting to be found? Could it be hidden in a museum, a library, or a private collector's vault? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's explore this mystery together. Chapter 6, The Grimoire's Legacy. Today, the Black Grimoire is a legend, a whisper among occult scholars, horror enthusiasts, and conspiracy theorists. Some claim it's hidden in a private collection, its pages guarded by those who know its true power. Others insist it's locked in a secret Vatican archive, alongside other forbidden texts. But its influence persists, seeping into the modern world like a shadow that refuses to fade. Reports of similar rituals, blood sacrifices, lunar eclipses, and encounters with shadowy entities, have surfaced over the centuries, each echoing the events of St. Aelric's. In 2019, a group of amateur occultists in Yorkshire claimed to have performed the ritual, using a partial copy of the grimoire's text found on the dark web. Their footage, uploaded briefly before disappearing, showed a dimly lit room, a makeshift altar, and a circle of candles. The video was grainy, but one moment stood out, a shadow, moving across the wall without a source. The group's leader, a man known only as Crow, spoke of hearing voices, of seeing things that weren't there. After the video was removed, the group vanished. No trace of them has been found, and their story has become a modern urban legend. The grimoire's legacy is not just one of horror but of fascination. Occult scholars have spent decades piecing together its history, comparing its symbols to those found in ancient Sumerian tablets, Gnostic texts, and even Norse runes. Some believe it's a relic of a lost tradition, a fragment of knowledge from a civilization that understood the cosmos in ways we cannot. Others see it as a hoax, a creation of a deranged monk designed to terrify and control. Yet the stories persist, tales of those who sought the grimoire, only to meet ruin. Have you ever encountered a real-life occult mystery? Have you heard whispers of strange books or rituals in your own town? Share your story in the comments. We're reading every one, and your tale might inspire our next video. Chapter 7, The Truth Behind the Entity. What was the one who waits? Was it a demon, as the church claimed, or something older, a primordial force that predates the gods we know? The grimoire's symbols offer clues, pointing to traditions far older than Christianity. Some match cuneiform inscriptions from ancient Sumer, others resemble Gnostic sigils used in rituals to commune with divine beings. One theory suggests the entity is a remnant of a forgotten deity, a being worshipped in the shadows of history, before the rise of organized religion. Another posits it as an archetype of fear, a manifestation of the human psyche's darkest impulses. Psychologists who have studied the grimoire's effects offer a different perspective. They argue the ritual is a psychological trap, designed to amplify fear and obsession. The blood sacrifice, the chanting, the sigils, all combine to create a state of heightened suggestibility, where the mind conjures its own horrors. The entity, they claim, is a shared hallucination, a collective descent into madness triggered by the ritual's intensity. But this theory raises a troubling question. If the one who waits is merely a product of the mind, why do so many who attempt the ritual vanish without a trace? The grimoire itself seems to anticipate these debates. One passage, written in Eadwulf's hand, reads, "The one who waits is neither God nor devil, but the mirror of the soul. It shows you what you seek, and takes what you offer. To summon it is to summon yourself, to face the truth you cannot bear. I have looked into its eyes, and I am no longer whole." These words suggest a duality, a being that is both external and internal, real and imagined. The monks believed they could control it, but perhaps they were summoning their own destruction, their own fears made manifest. The Abbey's fall, the deaths of Harrow's team, the disappearance of the 2019 occultists, all point to a power that transcends explanation, a force that feeds on those who seek it. Is the one who waits a real entity, or a trick of the mind? Is it out there, waiting for the next ritual to call it forth? Let us know what you think in the comments, and stay tuned for our final chapter. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the abyss. If this story sent shivers down your spine, smash that like button and share this video with your fellow horror enthusiasts. Subscribe to Tales from the Shadows.